Hello, everyone. What is up? It is your host, B Champ, and thank you guys so much for signing up for Critter Clash 3. This is going to be awesome. Here I am to explain the rules very briefly, the bracket setup, things like that. So first thing is first, if you signed up, you are already a part of the Discord channel. Check out on the left-hand sidebar the Critter Clash 3 section and the announcement channel. This will give you everything you need, everything that I'm talking about today. First part, here are the rules. Definitely read this. Important here, you must submit all games in a particular location following this link, and then your replay file should be submitted to the Discord channel, Critter Clash 3-replays. To submit a game, we're going to be using the ranked leaderboard interface. So if you're not familiar with the ranked leaderboard, here it is. This will show players in the community, their one-on-one online play, their username, their rating, their ranking points, what rank they are, things like that. And we submit games via this ranked match submission. So for the events, you'll see Critter Clash 3, Part 1, 2, or 3, then your map name, winner name, loser name, etc. And you'll record these for all of the games that you play. But without further ado, let's get into the bracket. Critter Clash is going to be in 3 parts. Part 1, no one is going to be eliminated in Part 1. And the point of this is to get people of similar skill level, separate them into groups. So you can see we have 6 different groups here, and have these players all play each other in a best of 3 set before 2 p.m. UTC on May 14th. That's this Saturday. And that will help, once they submit to the submission page, that is going to change their ranking points. The ranking points here, when finalized after all the games are played, those ranking points are going to determine where people are going to be placed in this matchup. So, for example, you can see Champ versus Puglin here. We have very closely similar ranking points. And let's say during the group stage in part 1, Puglin beats me. So we can just put uh, Dreamcatcher Puglin is going to beat, and you actually can just type in Champ here. And if I submit that, actually, I'm going to have to submit this again as Power Week. And then now what we should see is when this page refreshes, that Pucklin has jumped up to number 5 on the leaderboard. And he is now way ahead of Champ, which has moved down to number 8. And now the spots have changed, right? So previously, Champ was down here at number 7, but now it's Black Tiger 3. And you can see this whole bracket is changing every single time a game is submitted, and the ranking in the leaderboard changes. So don't look at this bracket too much in part 2, because it's not finalized and it's going to keep moving around until everything in part 1 is finished. Once we get to part 2, then, we are going to have a single elimination bracket. And so all 18 players are going to do a best of 3 sets. It's going to be single elimination against whatever seed is chosen here. Again, who you're playing against will be determined by part 1, so don't look at it now. And then after we get to the top 8, so after this round of games here, players will move into the top 8 brackets, and that is going to move into part 3. Part 3 is going to be a double elimination tournament. We're going to have our 8 players here, and we're also going to be best of 3 sets, but this is double elimination. That means when you lose, so the loser of game 1 is actually going to be put in this spot here, loser of game 2 is going to be put in this spot down here, etc. And so these are the 3 parts that we're going to have, but the next important part is map selection. So during part 1, these maps, Oculus, Sunken Valley, Dirty Croissant, Sandbar, Indigo Beach, Dreamcatcher, and Midway Atoll, are going to be the maps that you're allowed to play on. How you're going to decide what map to play is that the higher rated player, so for example, if it's me and Puglin playing each other, you can see that Puglin has a rating that is higher than mine. So the higher rated player is going to be the first to eliminate. Let's say Puglin doesn't want to play Oculus, so he'll eliminate that. I'll say I don't want to play Sandbar. Then Puglin will say he doesn't want to play Dreamcatcher. I'll say no Midway Atoll. He'll say no Sunken Valley, and I'll say no Indigo Beach. And finally, as we take turns doing that, we're left with one map left, and that is the map that we're going to play. After the first game is played, we select maps via elimination, just like that. Then it's going to be the loser is going to pick the next map. And so, let's say when we play on Dirty Croissants, Puglin wins, I lose. I get to pick the map. Then Puglin, let's say I win the next game. Puglin now gets to pick because he lost the most recent game. The thing is, though, he is not allowed to pick Dirty Croissants because he's previously won in this set against me on Dirty Croissant. So you can't play the same map twice if you've already won on it. These are the required map packs. We got the Nibbling Monsters map pack, and we got the LB Frank custom maps too that you're going to need in order to play some of these Part 1. And actually not the Part 2 maps, just the Part 1 maps. You're going to need these map packs. Part 2 maps, we're going to do the exact same system for map selection, except we are going to be using these maps instead. These maps will no longer be on the table. We have to use these maps for Part 2. And then for Part 3, it's going to be very different because your first game is actually going to be decided for you. There's going to be no elimination. And so we're going to have this game 1 is going to be on Boardwalk, and this one Harbor. So as the bracket fills in, then you'll know exactly where you're playing, and that way you can actually practice in advance for different strategies on these maps depending on what you have ahead of you. But just like in the previous sections, after the first map is played, it's going to be loser picks, and loser can pick from all of these maps. So they have a lot of maps to pick from. Loser picks, and again, just like before, you cannot pick a map that you have previously won on in that same set. All right, so that is the tournament. I'm really excited. We're going to try to knock this out in one weekend, guys. Hopefully be done by end of day, Sunday, May 15th. Everything kicks off this Friday, May 13th. Definitely get excited and ask any questions you have on the Discord. Talk to you then.